Hi everyone, Stega here and welcome back to Fairview. Today we will be starting off by working on this church and then moving on to working on some more of the downtown. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more City Skylines content. Here I'm placing down a small parking lot next to the church and soon I'll connect it with a path that goes to the other road. You would have seen just before at the beginning of the time-lapse that I actually removed some houses here, and I actually wanted to build a church here last episode but never got around to it. The church I'm using actually comes with a graveyard out back and functions as a cemetery, which is a bonus because I'll be needing it after the rapid population growth of last episode. Today I'm continuing to use the sugar maple trees by Mr. Mason, which I used in the last episode quite a lot, and I'm using these along the side of the path. Unfortunately it may look nice, but I don't have any cinematic shots of this area for you today because I forgot to take them and I'm at home now and not at my apartment near university, which is where my computer is, so I can't easily go back and just take them again. Here I've used Move It to quickly delete any props and trees in this area, which I'll be working on for the rest of the episode. Normally the game would hide these when you place a building, but because I've got prop and tree anarchy on, it won't, so I need to do it manually. Here I've just placed down a KFC to compete with the McDonald's that I placed down in episode 2, which is on the other side of the city. If you watched that episode, you would have noticed that the colours are a lot darker in this one than they were in episode 2. I was messing around with the light intensity settings with Ultimate Eye Candy and forgot to change them back before I recorded this episode and the 2 episodes after this. Here's a quick comparison of how things used to look compared to what's on screen right now. In my opinion, I like the old one better, but head down to the comments and let me know what you think of the colours, because I won't change them if you guys like it. The building that I'm now placing down is a diner, and I'll put some dumpsters beside it in the alleyway for their rubbish. I will then move over behind the diner to try and cover up some of the terrain differences from the other buildings. I'll be using the ploppable pavement to achieve this, and also put some concrete walls around the edge of it. If you watched any of the previous episodes, you might have noticed that the intro music has changed. I've done this because a lot of people are dropping off in the first few seconds of the video. I will now play the first few seconds of each intro song for you to compare. Here's the old one. And here's the new intro. Head down to the comments and let me know what intro you prefer. I'm now connecting the raised pavement area with the parking lot using these stairs. It's hard to tell with the shadows, but I think I avoided the stairs covering the windows. I'm using Move It to adjust these concrete walls into the right position, as they would otherwise probably bulldoze the diner that I just placed down. For this parking lot, I'm using the Parking Lot Roads mod to place down the parking spaces. This mod works quite well for what I want to achieve, which is to have a lot of parking spaces throughout the downtown. This makes things more realistic, as cities do have a lot of parking spaces that are just sometimes hidden under buildings. I am about to place down a target, which will be accessed by the parking lot when I rotate it around. I decided that it would make more sense for the target to be facing the parking area, so that people would have easy access to their cars once they're finished shopping there. I have also placed down a Subway and a GameStop on this block. I've moved them closer to the street because otherwise they would be too far back for people to notice them if they're driving or walking past. I have just placed down this Cranburger, which comes with the University City Content Creator Pack. I will be adding some tables around the restaurant and decorating it with some pot plants as well. With the target, I am rotating it around using Move It. My method was to rotate a copy of it and then move it back into place. I think there is an easier way to do this without having to copy it, but I'm not really familiar with all of the hotkeys. I'm covering up this grassy space between the back of the target and the road using the surface painter. And once I've finished detailing around this Cranberger, I will be using the terraforming networks to make the ground a lot smoother around the alleyways. I also add in some paths so that the alleyways will have people walking down them. After this, we will move over to the next block, which I will talk about when the music finishes. The parking space takes up most of this block. The reason I've done this is that it will be the overflow parking area for the parking lot in front of Target. For this one, I've added access from both ends of the parking lot, as it would get quite busy. Off camera, I will cover up and disable one of the pedestrian crossings near Target. I will leave the other one so that people can still cross. On this block there are some significant height differences, and I've used the concrete walls and ploppable pavement to address this issue. The gradual height change of one of the roads resulted in the ploppable pavement not working very well there. I've used it though because there's not an easy way to cover up that area without having the terrain clipping through the concrete wall. Along the main road I wanted to place down a gas station. There is also one at the other end of town that I placed down in the first episode. That one was from within the game, and this gas station here is a shell that I downloaded from the Steam Workshop. I'm also placing down some shops along the main street. 2 of the shops have a Walgreens logo on them, but we already have a larger one on the other side of town that I placed down in episode 2. A story to go with this could be that Walgreens have recently moved to a new shop, and this building just hasn't had the signs taken down yet. Over the back of these shops I'm using the prop line tool to put down some more dumpsters. I will now be heading to the next city block, and we will be placing down the first office buildings in the city. I wanted to stick with 4-story buildings for this episode. This is in line with what I did in the first episode, where I also stuck with a 4-story height limit, and I'll be sticking with this for the next few episodes at least. My long-term plan, however, is to increase the building height a bit and add some taller offices into the downtown which we've already built. I think this is a cool idea, as it will mean that we will need to work around what is already there and not just build from scratch. With this parking lot, I'm using the normal parking lot roads rather than the poorly maintained ones. If it serves these offices here, then they can afford to maintain them. This parking lot will also provide access to some 4-story apartments that I'm about to place down. I wanted to mix in some residential here, and I decided to only put down 6 apartment buildings rather than 8, because otherwise some of them would be blocked by the parking lot. I will be filling in the space between the rows of apartments with a raised garden and some more maple trees. To get the trees evenly spaced, I'll be using the prop line tool and adjusting the tree spacing to 17 meters. In the empty area of pavement, I'm going to create a custom playground using some props. I will also create another custom playground in the next episode. Coming up is the cinematics. I'll quickly remind you that I don't have any cinematic shots that are focused on the church we built at the start of the episode. If you look closely though, you can see it in the background of some of the other shots. Today I've shifted the before and after shot to the beginning of the cinematics, because in the last episode no one had actually watched it. Here I've used the ruined ground texture for the playground instead of regular grass. If you enjoyed the video today, then don't forget to give it a like and share it with your friends. If you're new to the channel and haven't already, then consider subscribing for more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.